Okay, the first thing is some attitude adjustment. You must take your swimming on.
Let's go.
I just want to go home.
3, 2, 1, go.
Go.
Okay.
Looking at your swimming now, most of the work we need to do is at the front of your stroke where you're entering the water there. You can sort of see your hands are arrowing in there, and that causes a lot of trouble underneath the water, which we'll look at. Sometimes your kick comes right up out of the top of the water, and sometimes your head seems to duck down, but and too low. So we're going to look at all those things when we get to our underwater footage. But take another look in slow-mo now as you come through, and look at those hands arrowing straight down, really deep underwater, chopping your stroke short at the front. You're probably aware you're not always swimming straight, so you need to look up and check more than once a lap. But when you do, you've got to keep kicking hard and you've got to keep pulling through the water. You have to make it part of your stroke. It can't be something that makes you stop. So we're going to work on that, and I think as you get fitter, it will get better. Now, when you are swimming, you are turning your head too high to take a breath. You should really only be getting one eye out of the water, not both. Your head actually creates a bow wave, and you can get in behind that to breathe and not turn your head too far. One eye out is enough. When you turn your head too far to breathe, you throw your body off balance and your head tends to come out of the water, so your feet sink. Anna, there's no doubt you're a good swimmer and you're fit as well, so that helps too, but I think we were both surprised how many strokes it took you to do one lap. You're getting less than a metre out of each stroke, so I thought it might be at the back of the stroke, but looking now, I think it's at the front. Look how deep your hands are before you start pulling back on the water. They're right down, they're almost pushing against the water as they come through there. You're getting so deep, you're arrowing straight down, and you have to get your hands in a position to catch the water then. And it's almost like they're pushing against it. So, look, we're going to have a close look at that and see what we can do about it. Look how you drop those elbows in there. So we'll take a quick look at that and see what we can do to fix it. We know you're a right-sided breather, and when you're firing that right arm in so deep, it's almost impossible for you to breathe on the other side. In fact, look at that picture. Your head is almost underwater there. That brings your feet up and they break the water. So that's too much movement up and down. And then when you come up to breathe, you turn your head too far and it's too much rolling over. So we've got to stabilize that body, and we've got to change the way you catch the water. So what I want you to do, Anna, is that when you swim, you come through with your high elbow, you come over the top and you bang, you're right there in the water, and as soon as your fingertips come in the water, you pop that elbow up, engage your back, and pull from there. You're like, boom, and then you start pulling. But look, I'm even twisting myself up here, sitting in my chair, okay, so it doesn't really work. And I mean, you're doing too many strokes. You're very strong, you've got long arms, you should be using them full effect. You're cutting it too short. So, coming over, boom, and then pop the elbow up high and come down. Your fingers should be pointing straight to the bottom. Your elbow should be above your wrist all the way through as you come through, and then push at the back. You're doing a little, your back is pretty good, but you just have a little twist, and I just think you could get that little bit more like you're throwing a stone at your foot rather than just flicking the fingers at the end. So I'm going to show you some more of your swimming and talk about it, but I wanted to show you that's what we're after. There's a couple of things here. Firstly, we can see how far you're turning your head to breathe in this shot. It's almost like your ear is the only thing in the water. And then look at that hand, palm down, elbow down. All you can really do is push straight down on the water. You can't push yourself forward by pushing the water back towards your feet until you readjust everything. So you're missing out on about 1.5 feet of water that you could be pushing back towards your feet and pushing yourself forward. All you can do with your hands like that, and they both do it, is to push the water towards the floor. It's not getting you anywhere. As you swim past the camera here, you can get a sense of how your arrow-like arms are twisting your body up. And when you breathe, your head comes out of the water and your hips sink, and you get a sense of it just here. What we want to see with that right arm is it reaching out in front, right in front of that shoulder, and pulling straight back, not weaving through the water. And look at your legs as you swim past here. You really have to bend them to try and keep everything in balance as to counter your arm and to counter your rollover and your breathing. You can see you're bending your legs there. Got to kick from your hip, not your knees. You're not reaching over far enough over the top of the water, but this would be a great place to start pulling the water backwards towards your feet. But you don't start pulling on the water until you get to here. It looks like you're diving down for the bottom of the ocean. You really should be looking straight down, not ahead of you. And take a look at your left arm as it comes through. It has to pull out away from your body, out wide like an outrigger to keep your balance as you turn your head too far to breathe. No wonder you're not swimming straight. And you're dropping your left elbow as it comes in, and it's like you're trying to scull it there. So you're really missing out on a good pull on that arm too. There's lots of things about your left hand you can work on too. I mean, you've got the palm facing straight down, you drop your elbow lower than the wrist, but at least you don't go down as deep. But I think the main job you're using your left arm for is to keep you balanced when you're trying to breathe, instead of just swimming. So we've really got to work out this head turning and breathing and get everything just right. We've got to work on getting you moving a bit quicker through the water so that there's a flow, so that you breathe and everything's working together, that you aren't wasting time with your arms just trying to keep you in position so that you can turn that head to breathe. It's having a really big effect. So we want to change the way the arms are through the water. We want to change how far you turn your head. And look, it might be terrific for you to start breathing on both sides. That might get that balance in the water, really help. So I think everything comes from your head, and we've got to get that position right. Sometimes it's too deep, sometimes it's too high, sometimes it's turning too far around. And look, I'm going to spin this chair around because I'm turning my head too far. So anyway, look, you are a good swimmer, right? But you're making things work rather than having a stroke that really works for you. So we'll talk about it. Have a good look at all that. Make sure you go to the Library of Success and look at the videos. Look at the angles that you should be turning around in your stroke. You're too much, and it's having an effect on other things. All right, we'll speak about it.